we've got the legend Brian Baldinger joining us right now as we bring him in. Baldy, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and happy almost playoffs as well. I know that's what you're living for. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Zach. Good to be with you. Happy holidays to you. Counting down the days to Christmas. It used to be just a nice, relaxing day, but now that we have 3 games on Christmas and the Broncos will be featured, I don't know that we're going to be able to quite relax as the way we once did.
No, you're absolutely right about that, Baldy. And we're hoping that that is a very easy game for the Broncos. We'll dive into that in just a second. Want to look backward to the Broncos-Jags game. In your opinion, what went wrong for the Broncos in that game? And based off of that, do you have long-term concerns about what went wrong with the Broncos in that game?
I don't have long-term concerns. I mean, the first quarter of that game, Trevor Lawrence was under siege. I mean, they were hitting him from the first drop back of the game. They were hitting him. And it's been an issue with this team. As much as they sack quarterbacks, they don't create fumbles and takeaways. And it's an ongoing problem because by any measure, when you get to 60 sacks or more, like you should have a lot of takeaways. And they haven't been able to do that. And they didn't on Sunday. So I think that's an issue. But, look, the throw to Parker Washington for a touchdown, Jaquan is right there. Like, I don't know, if you do that, if you make that play 10 times in a row, like does Jaquan come make the play 5 out of 10, 7 out of 10 times? Probably a pretty high percentage. They did some good things. You can see RJ Harvey is going to be a real force. They just didn't, they had a trick play to Cortland Sutton, and perfect throw from Bo. Ball gets knocked out late of Cortland's hands. They had opportunities. They just didn't make the plays when they were there. But I don't think this is a bad thing, Zach. You win 11 in a row, you lose one. It's like a reset button. I don't think this is a collapse or anything like it. But sometimes it's kind of good just to, because sometimes you just learn more from a loss than you do a win. And maybe that's not a bad thing right now.
Baldy, there's kind of a narrative going around about Vance Joseph's defense falling off after the bye week. And it was something that was going around last year as well. Do you see this defense declining, or is it more like what you're talking about with kind of just some big plays being sprinkled in there?
I think there was a lot of big plays. They didn't tackle well. You throw a 3rd and 5 route to Parker Washington, and 2 guys miss a tackle, and he goes down to the 3-yard line. Is that Vance Joseph, or is that just guys getting worn down, or whatever that is? But they got to tackle better, I think, than what we saw. Trevor Lawrence spins out on a 3rd and 8 play, and he's a runner, and they can't get him down to the ground before he gets a first down, extends the drive, and they don't have to punt. I think tackling is always kind of an issue for any team. But I thought it showed up a little bit for the first time, I thought, last weekend against Jacksonville.
Baldy, tell me about Chris Oladokun, who the Broncos will be facing as the Chiefs starting quarterback on Thursday night. And I know any given Sunday, in this case, any given Thursday night Christmas game, stuff can happen. But is there really any concern about the Broncos not being able to beat the Chiefs, if not just manhandle them?
I don't have any concerns. I don't think the Broncos should, but you never take anybody lightly. You don't have any tape on them outside of, a couple quarters of play last week. But I would say this, is that they have had major issues for Kansas City, that is, protecting their quarterbacks at both tackle positions. And it's not any better right now. And I would just say that if you're Benito and, you're Cooper and you're some of these guys coming off the edge, come off the edge, and go earn your Pro Bowl votes and everything that just happened to some guys in this defense. Get after it. They've been hitting the quarterback a bunch. John Franklin Meyer, Zach Allen. They've been hitting the quarterback. I would say, introduce yourself to them and then make them feel your punch. That's how I would approach it. I'm being kind, but make them feel your punch.
Yeah. Is there anything that this Chiefs team can do to kind of present problems for the Broncos in this game?
Well, I think that, they've got playmakers. And so, Andy Reid is going to build a game plan for him. And, there's going to be some design runs and and sort of some like if you had to say who's the best designer of screens in the NFL, it's Andy Reid. Sean Payton's not far behind, but Andy Reid is a master of screens. So every screen, tight end delayed screens, running back screens, like spot screens, middle screens. Like I would be very, very alert to the screen game. I mean, the kid needs completions. He needs confidence. Screens are a good way to do that. I would be very, very hyper vigilant about screens coming at me right now because you miss a tackle on a screen. Like who knows? You pick up a couple blocks down the field, you turn in what can be a 3-yard gain into a big chunk or more. So I would have that as my checklist right away.
Baldy, 2 days after the Broncos game on Thursday, on Saturday, we got the Texans playing the Chargers. And if the Broncos take care of business against the Chiefs, if the Texans beat the Chargers, the Broncos win the AFC West. So I know a lot of Broncos fans are going to be watching that game on NFL Network on Saturday. Who do you think wins that game? Because right now the odds are favoring the Chargers, but man, the Texans are also on a roll too.
It's going to be great because both teams have been stacking wins right here. I like the Texans right now because I think their defense is the best defense in football, and they're going to get. I mean, you got a set of backup to backup offensive tackles protecting Justin Herbert. But if Myles Garrett isn't the runaway as a defensive player of the year, I'm giving it to Will Anderson. Nobody plays the game harder than Will Anderson. They don't have a weakness on their defense right now. I know they gave up some points to the Raiders, and Genti had a big game last week. But that's the first time I've seen anybody in the last 2 months do any damage to the Texans defense. I think defense wins these type of games right now. So I'm not going against the Texans at this point.
Along the lines of the Chargers, just obviously they're still on the schedule for the Broncos. How have they been able to overcome the tackle issues and been able to stay in this race? Because it really felt like at that time when that happened, like, okay, they're going to fall off, and they've done a really good job of staying in this thing.
Well, Rashawn Slater went down, before the season started. And so, Joe Alt went over there, and that's his natural position. And then he went down. They're lucky. They have Jamari Sawyer out there at left tackle. Now, he came out of Georgia. He was a guard. He's really a guard. But he's played tackle when Rashawn's been down before, and he knows how to play the position. So that's that. And then Trey Pipkins has been pretty good on the right side, but they lose him, and they're lucky that they, the guys that they had there, that they were able to pick up because they're not bad players. And they went and got Trevor Penning at the trade deadline, and they use him in a variety of roles. They use John Matlock as kind of a protector, a blocker, an H-back, and so they have ways to protect the edges if they need it against elite players. I don't know if Fisk is coming back anytime soon or not, but he's also a similar role to Matlock. And so they have similar roles. And then, honestly, Justin Herbert's just a hard guy to get to the ground, just because of his size and mobility. And he's running a lot more now. And so if he gets quick pressure, the guy I was thinking about was Bobby Hart at right tackle. He's been in the league 11 years. Like they're lucky. They've got some guys that have experience at that position, despite the fact that, in some cases they've played backup to backup tackles.
Baldy, for the Broncos quarterback situation, Bo Nix was just named a second alternate to the Pro Bowl. That kind of makes him the fifth best quarterback in the AFC by the Pro Bowl standards. Do you think that's about right for him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. He's played very well, and they're at where they're at because of Bo Nix. Just the fact that in this league, you've seen Patrick Mahomes go down, you've seen Geno Smith go down, you've seen all these guys go down in your own division. He's lined up every game, 2 years in a row now. He stays healthy. He's dynamic. He's a problem. He's a problem for defenses, how to defend him right now. And so I believe that he's worthy of that selection. He's probably where he needs to be. I mean, there's still Mahomes and Justin Herbert and some guys out there in the AFC. Trevor Lawrence has played very well down the stretch. But I think that's a good spot for Bo. It won't be long before he improves that stock, and I believe he'll be an annual candidate to be the Pro Bowl quarterback.
I love that. Baldy, final one for you with the run game. Do you think the Broncos have enough juice in that running back room to make a deep playoff run with R.J. Harvey and Jaleel McLaughlin?
They both had good runs last week at times. They're not very consistent at it. Some of it is the guys up front. Bo Nix helps the overall average because of his scrambling ability and his runs, design runs. They're always going to be a passing team. And a lot of the throws that they make, Sean Payton will tell you the runs. Andy Reid will tell you these are just extension of the running game. Some of the just the quick game that they play is a little bit of the run game. So, but can they just line up and knock you off the ball? And if they have to run a 4-minute drill, just melt the clock running the ball? They're probably a little shortchanged in that department just because of the guy's size. But I think the more R.J. Harvey sees the ball, the more he sees defenses in this league coming down the stretch right here, I think the better he's going to get.
I love it, Baldy. Love catching up with you. Have a happy holidays, and we look forward to catching up with you next weekend. I hope you're right. I hope we're talking about a Broncos team that has clinched the AFC West after this weekend. Baldy, thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure, Zach. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to everybody there at All City. Thanks, guys.
You too, Baldy.
Thanks, Baldy. The legend, Brian Baldy.